Hey, so today we're learning how to play Blackbird the way Paul McCartney does it with the index finger strumming. It's famously known that Paul McCartney used to play a Bach piece as a party trick, and that's where he found these shapes. And later on he tried to find a few more shapes across the neck, and that's how he wrote Blackbird. So today I want to explain you where those shapes come from, because I believe that if you understand what you're playing, it will be easier to memorize it as well. So let's get started with the verses. So we're in the key of G, and the key of G we have the notes G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, and then G. Why is this important? Because the song is actually very diatonically for the most of it. We start with a G major chord, then we go to an A minor, the second of the progression, then a B minor. And the way that you know this is a B minor, this is all A shapes on the guitar. So if you know your cage system, this is your A shapes, right? You have your A minor shape and your A major shape, and we're just taking it across the fretboard. So we have our A minor, and then this is just a B minor, then a C major, D major, E minor, F sharp half diminished, and then back to G. Now, if we do these shapes, but we only play the tonic and the third, so B and then the third of the shape, we get these shapes. And this is exactly what is happening in Blackbird. Now, there's a couple chords that are non-diatonic, and we'll look into those in a minute. But for now, you can get used to playing this G shape. We're always plucking, so the thumb always plucks the bass note for the G on the 6th string, and then we're using the index to pluck the 2nd string, and then after plucking it, we strum it. And when we strum, we try to strum strings 2 and 3. So same thing for A. I'm playing it with this finger here just out of muscle memory, but it actually makes no difference because we're only playing strings 5, 2, and 3. So you can simply put the index finger here. Then this B minor, right? We've seen that it comes from this shape. And then we jump all the way to a G on the octave. Let's do that again. A, B minor, and G. Once again. And then we keep going on the scale chords. So we go to the chord 4. And here is where we have some chromaticisms. We have this chord, then we go to a D, then we go to this chord, and then we go to a B minor, to an E minor. And so the important thing is to realize that this C, this D, and this E are all the diatonic chords that we saw earlier on. So what are these two chords that come in between? These you can think of as the 5s of the next chord. So we have this C major chord here, tonic and third of the chord. And then we're going to play chromatically with the middle finger here on the 4th fret of the 5th string, and then the index on the 3rd fret of the 1st string. This gives us the 3rd and the 7th of an A chord. So you can see it as, you know, maybe you know this C, G dominant shape. It's the exact same thing, but we're in A now. So this is an A7 that happens, well, it doesn't happen. I'm sure Paul either thought of it or knew it by ear, that it's the 5th of D. So it's a 5-1, resolves perfectly to the next chord, D. And then he uses exactly the same logic. Chromatically, we're in D, right? So 5th fret of the 5th string, and then 7th fret of the 2nd string. And then once again we use the same thing. Middle finger goes up to to the 6th fret on the 5th string, and then index finger plays an A on the 5th fret of the 1st string. And this is a B7, if we visualize it as the same G dominant shape that we said before. And that resolves perfectly to the E minor. So let's practice that part again, now with the index strumming. Here I actually like to pluck this A7 with my middle finger, but just gives me a little bit more accuracy. Up to you, if you feel like it's easier for you to do everything with the index, just go for it. I don't think it makes any difference. So once again, C, pluck, strum, A7, pluck, strum, D, pluck, strum, B7, pluck, strum, E minor. And here it starts descending again. So, and for me, this is simply a cliche line. So I think he's still thinking in E minor, but just descending the bass to then lead to the D again. And then we play again that A7 to go to C. This time it makes more sense to think of it as a diminished chord to lead to C, because A wants to resolve to D, right? But that's not important. The important thing is that you play exactly the same chord and then go back to the C. So let's do that again. E, bass line comes down, D, A, C. And then you just bring your pinky down. So if you've been paying attention and you realize that this is a tonic and this is the 3rd of the chord, it means that we're flattening the 3rd. So we're turning the C major into a C minor. And this is a very common modal interchange where you bring the 4th of the minor scale and turn it into a minor 4. You see these on songs like Creep, for example. So, and then we're back to the 3 of the scale, this B minor. And here, to me, this sounds like a 2, 5, 1. So A7, D7, and then G. So all together, E minor, bass line comes down, D, A, C, C minor, B minor, A7, D, G. Alright, let's try to put the whole verses together. Awesome. Alright, so let's take a look into the rhythm. For the most of it follows a pattern. The pattern is either playing pinch, slap, pinch, slap, pinch, slap, pinch, slap. This high G is the only place where it's a little bit looser with it. And then for the rest of it, it continues with a pinch, slap, pinch, slap, pinch, slap, pinch, slap. And here we find the other part of the pattern, which is pinch, down, up, down, up. So pinch, down, up, down, up. Let's try it over the progression. Pinch, down, up, down, up, pinch, down, up, down, up, pinch, slap, pinch, down, up, down, up, 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 pinch. When it comes to the end of the first verses, Paul does a little turnaround. And all that is going to that C, straight to the B, to the A7, D7, and G. So one more time. And then he repeats the whole thing again with different lyrics. Take these sunken eyes and learn to see. That takes us to the chorus. So, the chorus, we're now in the key of F. So, in the key of F, we have this F major, right? But more importantly, we have this B flat, which is the 4, the C, which is the 5, this D minor, which is the 6, this E half diminished, which is the 7th, and then back to F major. So, we're using exactly the same logic, so tonic and third, tonic and third, tonic and third, tonic and third, and tonic and third. But it comes from F descending in the scale to this B flat. So, okay, that's the chorus. So F. Once again, we have that F major, that E half diminished, D minor, C major, B flat major, and then slide up to the C. The strumming, when you get here to the B flat, is the same thing. Pinch, down, up, pinch, down, up, down, up, and then it repeats. F, E half diminished, D minor, C, B flat, and this time we go to the A7, D, and we're back. That resolves back to the G, right? A 2, 5, 1 to the original key. So let's do one more time the chorus. F, E half diminished, D minor, C, B flat, C, F, then he goes straight into the verses again. And he plays it without singing this part. And then he sings the chorus again. Blackbird fly, Blackbird fly into the light of the dark black night. So the second time there's the chorus, it comes here and it sounds like the song ends, but then there's some birds chirping on the background, and he does this. This sounds a lot like the turnaround, but there's a slightly difference, which is on the turnaround you play G, C, B, and then you start strumming there on the A, right, like normal, D7 to G. But in this instance you play C, B, A, and straight into the D. And then he starts singing again. And from there, it's the same thing all the way to the end. You just repeat the verses and the chorus, and the song ends with him just repeating, "You were only waiting for this moment to rise. You were only waiting for this moment to rise." And then he plays the G with his G on top of the first string as well. So again, the ending of the song. You were only waiting for this moment to rise.